Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. The chart, obviously, with today's sell-off, so far it hasn't recovered. Also, an immediate recovery wasn't expected. As I said in the last video, one more low is likely. I think we made one more low. We're going to zoom in a minute to take a look at the lower degree wave structure. But the chart has become very, very complex, making trading at the moment very difficult, in my opinion. We are now at higher risk, in my opinion, of breaking down. Someone said to me today in the live stream that I've become very bearish, which, well, is to a degree true because I recognize the change in the chart structure. Yeah, I mean, not too much happened. I mean, we talk here about whatever 4% drop in the Bitcoin price. That little bit of a drop, yeah, in the Bitcoin price tells me something isn't quite right, because 4% in a day for Bitcoin isn't really much. Okay. I mean, let's make that a little bit larger. I know it looks bad, but it's really just. I mean, we were in this region just a week ago. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's roughly 5%, so it's not anything unusual in crypto. I always need to mention that because a lot of people are panicking when we see like a 4 or 5% drop. So it really is not much of a drop, very, very clearly. However, that little bit of a drop, which was a little bit more than ideal, tells me something is not quite right. Okay, so obviously until now everything went well. It was quite easy. It was quite straightforward. We've been talking about a bottom here. Yeah, the RSI played a great role in here. I did highlight it at the time on the daily RSI that a low is near. That was also the period where we had a lot of bank failures, negative news. It was pretty, I don't want to say easy, but it was logical to call for a low. That low happened and we've been rallying. We've actually been rallying without deep retracements. Quite a bullish structure, but also a little bit unusual. And then when all this choppiness appeared here, I highlighted to you that it's not normal, but price needs to follow through. Price did follow through a little bit, but then again failed. And already here, when we were consolidating up here, I mentioned that it is not normal for a third wave, because the expectation would be to be in the third wave. It is not normal that Bitcoin in a third wave consolidates after every little move. Yeah. So I think those warnings came at the right time. Please note that in these analysis videos, every word counts. Yeah. So don't listen only to the price. The background and the overall information around it is very important. So when I talk about, people might want to consider profit taking, which I talked about a few days ago, you will remember that, yeah. But I can't tell you to do it because, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know your strategy. But, anybody who entered in this trend reversal area, it might be wise, it might be reasonable. Coupled with all of this, which wasn't ideal. But of course, you never know until the price follows through, okay? Price seems to be following through now, but it could still make one more high here, and then we need to see. So the chart becomes very complex. The risk has increased, and I would be careful with trading at the moment, especially trading the little waves. I just say it very clearly because we need some clarity. Bear in mind, there isn't always a good trade setup available. So we've got now a situation where we have a possible diagonal pattern here. Yeah. But such a diagonal pattern doesn't really fit into a third wave of a third wave. Because normally, it would be, as per this count, a leading diagonal, yeah, of the third wave. So the first wave of the third. A diagonal in a third wave is unusual, especially a leading diagonal in a third wave of a third wave. So I'm not too confident about this. That's why I've taken some risk off today. This would obviously be the bullish perspective. See, there is so much to explain here. It is difficult to always put that and communicate that in these videos. But what you need to know is that we could get one more high here. And then we have a decision moment. Yeah, then we are at our next pivot. But that high is not necessarily guaranteed. Yeah, so I don't necessarily expect it. We can still focus on it, yeah, but probabilities for it are low, or at least probabilities are not that clear in favor of another high, in my opinion, because we could also have topped here. That's why I've got the alternate wave 1 or C wave up here. So that means basically a significant top. But as long as we're holding 27,800, we could get one more high. And if we get one more high, this will be the key decision point. So I try to explain it really as simple as possible. The 27.8K level is very important. If we hold it, we can get one more high. That is the next decision point. Then we have 5 waves up in this diagonal. And then we will see in the pullback if it's holding a higher low. If it does, it's going to be another 1-2 setup, and we could rally in the third wave of a third wave. If it breaks 27.8K, then we are probably heading much lower. Yeah. Then next into this area between 22K and 25,320 roughly. I might still adjust that a little bit depending on how high we go. So in each case, the good thing is that the 27.8K level is not very far away. So it should provide us good clarity quite soon. So it's not like it has to drop 30% for us to give some clarity. So the imminent upside count will, it will stand and fall with the 27.8K level, in my opinion. It's quite a relevant level. So this is obviously a possible diagonal that we have here. I don't trust diagonals. And because I don't trust diagonals, I said to you, I don't necessarily expect that one more high. It is a very difficult situation. Everybody who's trading this needs to know that. And it would also be an expanding diagonal, which is very, very unusual. And so this is the situation we're in. So, this wave 1 could sit here. It could also sit here. So if we get that high, it will be here. And then the drop will tell us, is this a wave 1? And we come back maybe into the 29, 28K area. Or if we break 27.8, then we can say hello to the yellow area. I think these are the two scenarios. Don't get me wrong, they are both very likely. So it all depends on that support level. And I can't tell you if it's going to hold or not. I mean, I'm not making the prices, but know that this is the key level, for me. So then, obviously we discussed here on the weekend and early in the week those bearish divergences we saw on the Bitcoin chart. Can't really ignore them, but then again, we didn't see them on other coins necessarily. So be on the side of caution here. Bearish divergences on the Bitcoin chart, basically lower highs on the RSI, but higher highs on the price chart, showing the struggle that Bitcoin has here. But if we come down lower, and if we break 27.8K, if we go to the daily chart, I just want to highlight something very important. Because the RSI allowed us to call the low on the 10th of March. So if we, with the RSI, come down the daily, we come down lower with the price. Let's say we get into this yellow area, which is absolutely likely. I can't say it's my primary because we're still holding support up there. But note that the situation is getting very difficult. If we get into this region, or even if we break the yellow box, but if we hold the March low or above, right? Anyway, if we don't break below the March low, if we come down lower, test the support area here, the RSI is getting into an oversold range, maybe 30 again, but we are above the 10th of March low. That will be a very bullish signal in my opinion. Because the daily RSI oversold, not overbought, but oversold is one of the best indicators to call lows in crypto. So that's the situation. Unfortunately, very complex. To keep it simple, I don't show you every wave count here. That's possible. I try to pin it down here to the most likely ones that really depend on this 27.8K level. Don't underestimate that level. And now let's go into the very short term. Here I highlighted to you in the previous video, one more low is probably coming. that low came or is currently underway. So it looks a bit like this, yeah, wave 5 currently in the making here. Then we should or could still get another 4 and another 5 down. Depends on if we are seeing here WXY or an ABC structure. But if we now break above 29,520, that would be an early signal, yeah, that we do get this additional high in a wave 5. That should go into the 32.5K region somewhere. So now you should know everything that you need to know here, in my opinion. Yeah, we're obviously starting to get some more support here soon. Yeah, with all these previous highs around 28.7K, 28,750, 28,800, which might be a reasonable low for the fifth wave here. But this is just a micro count. If we, let's see, if we measure the length of the A wave here, go to the high of the B wave, then the 1-to-1 ratio would also point us to 28,560. So that's certainly a level to watch anyway for support. Yeah, now you should have all the information needed. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.